play. This is what you get used to. This is what you sign yourself up for if you want to make money playing video games.
I mean, this is just absolutely spotless play from Kane. I'm so pleased to see.
Yeah. Kane had so much hype riding behind him going into this tournament, and every single time he has proven that was completely earned.
I'm sorry, it broke up there for a moment, John. What did you say?
I said that he's gone into this tournament with amazing amounts of hype behind him. You know, Kane is the breakout performer. Kane is the guy who will rock it in this tournament. He is the guy who is so good, and he has demonstrated that in 3 different matchups. Like, he did it in ZVT, he did it in ZVP, and he is now doing it in ZVZ. Like, this guy is an all-around monster.
I really think his Zerg vs. Zerg is his strongest, having watched his stream quite a bit. I mean, he just looks so clean in all these matchups. His confidence in Ling Muta, very, very apparent. And it's amazing to think that we began this cast at 11 a.m. 1 hour later, we might almost be done with the series.
Yeah. Having said that, after the length of the cast yesterday, I'm kind of glad about that. As much as I'd like to provide this amazing entertainment to you guys, it would be nice to take a break. But regardless, I'm glad that we're not actually having any technical issues today. Touch wood. Let's hope that doesn't follow up. All right, whirlwind.
Touch wood?
Touch wood. Have you never heard that phrase? Yeah, that is a phrase.
I thought it was knock on wood.
No, touch wood is the UK phrase. Knock on wood is the US.
Really? It's just touch wood.
Yeah, just touch it.
Wow. You just so like my hand is like resting on like a small figurine that's made of wood. Is that?
Well, I think you would have to then actively touch it, because if you're already in that kind of passive position, so you're not taking the act of touching it, you are in contact with it. I feel you'd have to remove the hand and then place it back upon the figurine once again.
Repeatedly?
Only once.
Okay, done.
Excellent. Fantastic. We're in a great place. I'm looking forward to this game. In the southwest position, in the Red Trunks, currently up 3-0. Good lord. What a monster. He is
ROOTKane
versus his opponent who, man, if he's not on tilt right now, then he is the most strong-minded pro that I have seen in a long damn time. From Team Millennium, currently playing from France, looking for an opportunity to return home and escape the Frenchman, it is
Millenium-Goswser.
I tell you, Canada's got to be pretty damn proud of Kane right now. He is the lone Canadian representative remaining in this tournament, and he is dominating it.
I mean, he's really representing Canada very, very well. I mean, Canada has had a long string of excellent stellar gamers, but, you know, as of late, I've had quite a lot of struggles at the international events, but Kane, I think, is really giving a lot of hope. Kane also going, once again, for that very, very, very greedy build. Hatch first, then gas, and finally pool. Goswser going for the conservative pool first.
And Goswser's got to be feeling the heat right now. Whirlwind is a great map to go greedy as well. I mean, the rush distance, if you're going to try any kind of link-bailing play, it's going to be seen a mile away. Unless, of course, you really screw up your Overlord placement. And you're going to have all the time in the world to kind of prepare for that kind of stuff. So if Goswser does attempt to be the aggressor here, it might just flat out not work. He went in very confident on the Star Station game with that big aggressive play, left a few links behind, and just ran into the best defense I've seen in ZVZ in a long time. And that has got to be frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a frustration that you can overcome. I mean, I think that the most important thing is not to go on tilt and say, well, geez, I've lost with this composition, I've lost with this strategy, I've lost with this opening. Better just go all in and try to avoid the late game. Because we saw Goswser, if he thinks that he is vastly superior to his opponent, you'll see him go for the very long-term games and play quite successfully. Kane, though, with that very, very swift speed, and now Swift Baneley Nest is looking, could be defensive, could be aggressive. That's the best part about this ultra-fast gas. And by the way, I love that Baneley Nest placement by Kane.
Yeah, I very much do. It's exactly what you were talking about earlier. The space between that hatchery, giving just a little bit of SimCity. Nice save there by GhostUser to into a spore crawler and to escape with it, not losing that drone. That's a nice little move. We're seeing a lot more of that lately, especially now that you don't need an evolution chamber to do that. It's like, yeah, a spore's a little bit cheaper than turning it into a spine. Why not? I could do that more in a clutch position. Of course, yeah, this is still indirect harassment as well, because eventually these cancellation fees will add up just like your average mobile phone contract. And I realize I said mobile phone and none of the Americans know what I'm talking about. What's a mobile phone? What is that? It's a cell phone. No, it's not. Never been a cell phone. You guys are making it up.
And you don't say text, you say SMS?
We say text. Like,
did you finally catch up to text? That's amazing.
it took a little bit of time, but no, we stopped saying SMS a while ago. And I would say we stopped saying MMS as well, but nobody ever used those to begin with, so who cares?
Looks like GhostUser has a nice little boost of confidence there. He said, okay, there was the aggression, didn't do anything.
Nope, not
all right. Time to go for the long-term play. And Kane's just throwing down his 4 gas geysers and instantly going layer. I love this because Kane did a very similar looking move last game that had a lot of Ling Baneling there. But this game, just a couple of Lings and a much faster layer. And look at GhostUser's answer. Banelings, Zerglings, and a Spine Crawler. There's a lot of additional defense that GhostUser probably would have wanted to avoid.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Kane got a fantastic Baneling connection. I wouldn't even say it was a good one, it just looked awesome. Because of the angle that it came in, the bits of Zergling skidded across the map in an entertaining fashion. That was great. And a great scout here by GhostUser. Gets a lot of information there, knows exactly what he is up against, knows the timing of the lair, and of course spots all 4 gas as well. So he can safely assume it will be a Mutalisk play. Let's see what he decides to do. He's not that far behind his lair timing this time around. That aggression, as you pointed out earlier, didn't really do much. We're going to see the same Roach and Evolution Chamber play here.
Yeah, I'm about that in this position. This is a map where I really think that Zerglings are particularly potent. And of course, with Mutalisk to follow up, are very, very, very excellent as well. And I think with this sort of Roach play, I'm looking at this Overlord at the far bottom right, could potentially pop into an Overseer, but look at Kane at the bottom right of his own main base. Has a Zergling there, ready to deal with some sort of Nidus play. Kane already taking his 3rd base and sending Lings out. I mean, the preparation from Kane is really, really just shining through. It's really amazing.
Yeah. He looks so solid and so knowledgeable in this matchup, it doesn't look like there's really any holes in his play. An attempted run-by comes in onto the 3rd, shouldn't force a cancel, it'd be really weird if it did. And GhostUser tries to get a couple of connections, not the best Baneling connections in the world, that one was pretty decent, so we should see a cleanup, but there is a follow-up coming in, there are more Lings, so he's still applying pressure here as best he can, but now the Roaches are on the field. We need to see a good surround here by Kane. He can surround and kill this, but is he going to go for it? Yeah, he's going for it, but there are now reinforcement Roaches. Kane immediately pulls back.
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of positioning that is very standard. You get to about 45 or so, 45 to 50 drones, and then you flood Lings as you take your 3rd. You can delay your opponent's 3rd, and of course you can defend your own.
That you can. We're looking at the Roach count here. That's currently 10. There are Mutalisks on the way here for Kane. That'll only take him up to 6. It's definitely not a big number. Let's look at structures, shall we? That's a new tab that we got in Heart of the Swarm, which I don't know the hotkey for. It's T. Yes, T. There you go. You've learned something. There are four Spore Crawlers on the line here for GhostUser. And that, I mean, that in itself is, against 6 mutas, you can't go in against that. You'll lose like half your Mutalisks at least, maybe all of them in that situation.
Yeah, God, I mean, those Spore Crawlers are looking mighty scary. I mean, especially the range 7 compared to the range 3 of the Mutalisks. Yeah. Yeesh.
Yeah, I mean, you probably get 2 hits in before the first Glaive Worm even fires, which is two-thirds of the health of a single Mutalisk. There's one at the front here as well. GhostUser's placement is pretty good here. There's one in the mineral line. There are actually no holes in this. GhostUser is well defended everywhere. He's got 6 spores, which is more than enough to handle this Mutalisk count. Kane, on the other hand, is now actually going to transition into Roaches of his own and Infestors. You'll notice that he also has an Evolution Chamber.
Ooh, at the 3rd base of Kane, we see 3 in the left geyser. This is one of those devastating moments that you just cannot let happen. I mean, that's pretty significant. That's about 2 Roaches a minute worth of gas that you lose. About 40 gas a minute gone. Oh, no, there's the 3rd one in the gas. Hey! Perfect.
Ah, that was a triple somersault, 10-point landing there by the Zergling Corpse as it connects with the Baneling. That is possibly the most amusing use of the physics engine, aside from watching Void Rays die. It is the best thing in the world. They crumble into tiny little shards.
Oh gosh, especially if there's like 6 chain fungals that all land and they all break apart at the same time. Oh my gosh, it's as good as destroying a sandcastle.
Yep, it makes me quiver. What can I say? Kane now going for the 4th base down to the bottom here. Currently a fairly passive game between these two, but if we look at supplies, they're pretty even. A lot of things are fairly even. We are, however, seeing a roach advantage here for Ghostuse, a pretty significant one. Those Mutalisks, of course, taking up supply and not doing a damn thing right now, which puts Ghostuse in a really good spot. I mean, those Mutas can't go and harass. They will just die if they try. If they try and engage, they might just get easily fungled. They're not going to be that useful.
Yeah, I mean, they're the sort of things that you just need to get some use out of very swiftly. It's one of the reasons why the Zerglings were produced early on. So that way, you know, the Mutalisks could maybe pick off a drone or two, kill a geyser or something like that. But right now, the Mutalisks have done almost nothing directly. However, indirectly, they've permitted this 4th base to go down from Kane. So I think that is where the big edge from Kane is going to occur. But Kane is a little bit far behind on that +1 upgrade. I'm really impressed to see Ghostuse sticking to guns and going for this long-term play.
Yeah, we're just having a little bit of lag in the game. I think it may be on your end. I'm just checking here. We're not dropping any frames, so...
I'm not seeing any lag. It looks great to me.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing it, and that could definitely cause some problems for the players here. I think I may call a pause just until this passes.
I thought the glitch is just there. It looks like there's a pause quest. There's a couple lag spikes, it looks like.
Yeah, this is really odd, actually, because the... There we go. So, we'll pause this for a second and try and let this even out. You went robotic on Skype, which is it kind of usually means that, you know, there might be an issue on my end, but since I haven't dropped any frames, that's really strange. Like, I'm trying to figure out exactly where this lag is coming from here. Kane was complaining about a little bit of it, but not huge. So he wasn't getting those big freezes. If he was, then he would have said so.
Looks like everyone's pretty intense, so it looks like things are going to be...
yeah, you're breaking up in a big way on this end, so...
I am? Wow, I can hear you just great.
That's really, really strange. I just got a waiting for server there, and... Yeah, the game is actually freezing up in a big way on this end. Which
wow.
Massively. This is very strange. Good lord. I've never seen this. This is so weird. I can't even hear you right now. Like, it's gotten that bad. We're not dropping any frames. The stream is actually solid, but there's big freezes right now. This battle is going on. Evidently, yeah, Red Storm calling another pause. Obviously in the middle of a fight, which is bad. Apparently, yeah, everything is going horrendously wrong in this fight right now, which is definitely not what we want. Yeah, everyone's claiming it seems pretty rough. I don't know where this is coming from. I really, really don't.
Well, is this going to be our first break of the TV?
It might be. It very well might be. We will have to ride this out and wait for it to fix itself, I think. Yeah, looking on this end. This is really strange. Okay, we'll have to take a couple of minutes break while we try and sort this out. We don't really want to go right now. No. That would not be a good thing at all. Oh, now I'm dropping huge frames. Dropping stream. Oh, crap. Alright, well, I guess it was too good to last. I will try and get this resolved, and we will be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We apologize. If there had been... It wouldn't have surprised me if a tornado had knocked the studio down. Like, at this point, every natural disaster and unnatural disaster that could have possibly happened has occurred to this tournament so far. We are clearly cursed, so we will do our best to bring you the remainder of this tournament and hope that doesn't happen again. It was very convenient that the internet connection started working again as soon as the lightning stopped.
Well, you know, John, having grown up in the Midwest, I grew up in Leawood, Kansas, which is, of course, right in the middle of Tornado Alley. I know all about how lightning and thunder and bad weather can influence power. And now that I live in South Central LA, power just goes out for some reason every now and again.
Yeah, just at random. And there are times when I wish I was in Sweden, then I look at the tax rate, and I don't wish I was in Sweden. So that's just the way of it, but I guess they get what they pay for, and their internet is big, reliable, and scary. I would like all of those things. I'd actually just take one of those out of 3, and that would be better than what I currently have.
I will say, I think that honestly, Sweden is one of the awesomest countries I've ever been to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no punchline to that. It's just great.
No,
I just think it's
awesome.
absolutely fantastic.
Yep. I have no doubts about that whatsoever. It's a really, really great country indeed. They also have Max Burger, which is very hard to argue with.
Oh
You've
my
never been,
gosh,
have
that's
you?
right. I have been doing Max Burger.
I was
Isn't that
gonna
the
say.
fast food chain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there, and that's where I learned that entrance and exit is infart and ootfart.
I'm 14 and this is funny, but yeah.
Dude, it was, dude. I took photos by the ootfart in like negative billion degree weather, literally.
Oh man, that place, I think it was the triple cheese Grand Deluxe, is an artery clogging piece of wonder.
Oh god, now that you say that, all I can think about now is clogging my arteries. It might be a fast food trip after this match. Oh, TotalBiscuit. Actually, we're spending all this time talking about everything that's awesome. I want to spend a brief moment talking about how sensational Kane's play has been up to this point.
Yep.
Domination in games 1, 2, and 3. Game 1, the only one where Kane really fell quite a bit far behind, but then with brilliant counterattacking and excellent defense, slaughtered GoSuUser's huge push. I mean, just really spot-on play. It's amazing not just to see him do beautifully when everything's going his way, but also to discover avenues to get back into the game when he's behind. I mean, just amazing versatility under pressure.
Indeed. All right, so here's what we have done. We have gone for a resume from replay. Now, I've got to make you aware of this, by the way, Sean, because this might freak you out. We will most likely be locked to a weird camera. You will need to use the right camera hotkeys, otherwise things will go horribly wrong. I believe what you will need to do is hit something like Control 2 twice, and then things will be back in play. The players.
I know this.
Yep, cool. Because otherwise, yeah, that's. I believe GameHeart may have just fixed this, but it was definitely a problem that we've seen in the past. So this could be interesting. Now, this is the agreement of both players. They suggested this, resuming about 15 seconds before the beginning of the fight, because they both started to be affected by lag, and they both said... I think we've actually got a random Russian who's managed to sneak his way in here, but one way or the other, we have... It's just like, out of nowhere, just some Russian. But anyway, we have a situation where both of these guys lagged as they went into the engagement, and it negatively affected the engagement to the point where they wanted to redo it. And they both wanted to redo it. GoSuUser said that he had engaged incorrectly, and then oh, Jesus Christ, not again. Here's hoping it holds up. Anyway, Kane said that he apparently missed some fungals as a direct result of lag. So we are about ready to get started, and we're going to see this engagement once again. They're both pretty much committed to this. They both have pretty equally sized armies, so we are ready to make it happen. And here we go. Alright, the engagement is going to occur in the center here. We are back in the game. Pretty evenly sized armies. Army supply is about as even as you can get here. We'll see what happens, and Kane is going to move back as it happens. He doesn't want to take the engagement around the Xel'Naga Watchtower, which his opponent has control over, especially with fungals being a factor. That would, of course, be a bad idea. GoSuUser nicely picks off an Overseer, and Kane is looking to try and engage on the left flank, right flank this time around.
It's very even, but those Hydras are very exposed in the middle. The angle is terrible for Kane. If those Infestors get up to that pack, it's going to be a nightmare situation. Oh, the worst possible thing has happened for Kane. So many fungals landing down at that ramp, the worst possible angle. It's just macro at this point. GoSuUser's supply falling rapidly, surprisingly, but
huge
right now,
surge of roaches coming in from Kane, actually. Massive. He had a big bank and a load of lava saved him. If he can get those roaches back into the fight, he can definitely defend this.
but it's going to be very close. GhostUser has broken a key defensive position. Kane now in, again, a nightmare situation. He barely defended in game number 1. Can he do it again here in game 4?
Roach is coming in, and it's this 4th base that's given him the economy to make this happen. It's actually resulted in a flank. Kane comes around, surrounds the army of his opponent, and is going to crush it.
That is unbelievable. Kane had an atrocious angle. All the fungals landed, but the reinforcements just too much. The repositioning, the decision to engage them, and of course that extra power boost from those Hydras helping a lot. But I mean, man, look at that units lost right now, TotalBiscuit. About
Pretty
2k more for Kane.
In a mirror match, that makes all the difference, and Kane does have the economy to back this up. He still has that 4th base well defended. He has a drone lead over his opponent. It also means he has more lava. He does only have 2 queens, however. So the lava boost that he would have got from having those 4 hatcheries is not actually kicking in the way that you would expect. Speaking of something you wouldn't expect, Kane is now bringing No, he's cancelled it. Never mind.
The tease. Kane realizes he doesn't want to drop. His big goal is to secure this middle. If he can secure the middle, it opens up avenues. There it is. Boom. He can now take a 5th base comfortably in bottom right, but only so long as he holds that middle juncture. Now it looks like he's trying to also go for a big surround angle. The concave, very favoring of Kane right now.
It's looking really good. He came in from both sides. He got Hydras behind there as well, which is cutting through the Roach forces on the side right there. GhostUser is trying to hold on. He has a superior Hydralisk count. The Roach count is melting on both sides here. Good engagement for GhostUser. As best, I think, is a good hope for. The reinforcements should even clean this up as well. So Kane takes a bit of a pounding there in the center. He is already building another 26 Roaches, however, and also adding on the Hydra speed.
Yeah, I mean, this play, this is essentially the aggression macro momentum style. I have a lead in bases, so I'm going to hurl as much at you as I can. I don't even care if it's cost inefficient. I want to break down and prevent you from ever getting up a 4th.
And to be honest, Kane can only do this so many times. He's currently 4,000 resources lost behind, and is now able to put a lot of momentum in, but there's only so many times you can remax off that bank. Though, if GhostUser can't touch the 4th base, then maybe that doesn't become a factor. He's got his own 4th up now, though, so that advantage rapidly disappears.
Yes, I mean, essentially, in the time, if you have 4 versus 3, you have about 2 pushes in this matchup that you can do. The first one, GhostUser brought the noise there. That was at 1, and then push 2 just occurred. Kane no longer can try to barrel through. He's going to go for the counterattack style. Lenok has won so many Lost Zerg Reserves with exactly this style, but he needs to get Burrow.
Yeah, that would be great. The ability to harass using that would be absolutely fantastic. Really putting his opponent out of position using it. GhostUser gets the cleanup, loses a queen in the process. So again, that lava advantage is not so big. Kane now looking to try and strike the natural here. But one mistake. If he gets a bad concave here, he is not getting out of this.
That's right. He needs to begin retreating. There's no need. Oh my god, GhostUser is going to cut off the retreat. He's picked off the Infestor from the backside, and now Kane is going to have to try to retreat at a bad angle. Thank God for this exit for Kane's Roaches. GhostUser had almost every angle covered, and really sensational defense, and Kane missed another opportunity to counterattack at the right. There it begins.
Yes, indeed he did. Now, he's adding Carapace upgrades in there. I like Carapace in this particular scenario, especially against Hydralisks. That's really nice. And we'll see how effective that is. More Infestors being added on for Kane. Admittedly, the Infestors haven't really contributed that much for him. Getting into another pretty bad angle here against Hydras. Wow. I'm really surprised Kane wants to take this fight.
Kane is not in a good position here, but he is rallying from all sides. It looks like he's trying to break through and get some targets down on those Hydras.
Oh, he's got behind him.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not enough. There's so much firepower from GhostUser, and Kane that was the worst engagement he has taken in this entire game. He is now almost 10,000 resources behind his opponent in terms of units lost. A fantastic fungal doesn't have a follow-up, so it's not going to matter. And there's the GG. GhostUser finally begins his long road to the comeback.
And I really like the way that GhostUser played this game out as well. I mean, keeping all his units together, staying focused when the counterattacks began to happen, did not lose his cool, repositioned very, very nicely, and I think most importantly, brought the attack to Kane. Now, just that statement, bringing the attack to Kane, is already an amazing positional feat, because Kane is trying to counterattack with faster units on a huge open map. He's trying to do it on Whirlwind. It's almost impossible to stop your opponent from doing that. But GhostUser just scooped the roaches back a little bit at a time and perfectly struck Kane when he had just been doing nothing but flooding roaches, and as you said, TotalBiscuit. Once it was 10k differential, that's when GhostUser was really cranking up the noise. Not much he could do at that point.
Yeah, it really, really wasn't. You have that big momentum with the economic lead, but you accurately pointed out, you get about 2 pushes out of that, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw 2 attempts, both thwarted, and then the 3rd attempt just turned into an absolute rout. It was horrendous to watch, and GhostUser rolls over his opponent, nicely played. Now we have the final map in the map pool, which has tended to be the same, especially in the best of 5, as well as the best of 7s. Neoplanet S, not exactly a popular map amongst the players. Most of them hated it, and they don't want to play it, but this is no veto format. It's all in play. Neoplanet S will be played out, and then maybe we see the entire map pool refresh.
Yeah, and that's, again, really exciting. I genuinely hope to see... actually, Neoplanet S is my favorite map in the map pool. There's a lot of dirty counterattacking that happens on this map. I think this is one of the hardest ZVZ maps in the map set, because every expansion is sort of awkwardly placed with these vulnerable attack avenues, but to even go down one of those attack avenues, you're taking a big risk in yourself.
Yeah, certainly.
It's rough.
It definitely is. We'll be going into the next game very shortly. Obviously, we don't want to keep you delayed. Currently, I am unable to access websites, but the stream is working, so I guess that's fine.
Yeah, it looks like the lightning just struck a DNS server, and that's it.
Yeah, I actually think it probably was. Looks like we have lost DNS completely, thankfully. Since we already had a connection, it doesn't matter. The stream and the Skype works. That doesn't require DNS whatsoever, so Jesus Christ. Alright, well, it's okay. I can use my phone to browse the internet, and I can also rely on reports from Day9 TV as to what is happening on the internet.
Well, I will continue to make up updates as they come into my brain, TotalBiscuit.
Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. We are ready to rock and roll. So let's get into Neoplanet S, the map that everybody hates. Well, at least when it came to this tournament. I can't pull the exact statistic, but I can say a absolute metric ton of map choices did not involve Neoplanet S. That is a fact.
I think it's a really, really excellent, fun map. I think everyone was mistaken.
I don't think anyone playing it likes it, but I like to watch it. So we'll see how it goes. All right.
Well, mate, I'm weird. It's my favorite map to play. Go on. I'm sorry.
I guess someone had to defend it, right? To the northeast position in the red trunks, playing Zerg, who was looking dominant and then was not quite able to complete the clean sweep. Will this be the time when his prowess falls to pieces? It is.
ROOTKane
versus his opponent, who, in an excellent display of mental fortitude, has been able to pull this one back to 3-1. He has a long road ahead of him. He is
Millenium-Goswser.
You know, this is the map where... Oh, yeah, baby.
10 pull from GhostUser. 3-1 down and you 10 pull. You have the balls.
So I want to note a couple of things very, very quickly. This is the map where the old strategies, the more typical macro-based, macro-oriented strategies, still work. Those are still legitimate because of the fact that the choke at your natural expansion is quite small. However, the distances between the bases, very tight. A lot of the angles, very, very exploitable with early aggression. And look at this. Kane. Kane actually, if he goes for hatch gas, that is an extreme risk. Notice the Overlords. The Overlords are not actually flying over any movement pads. Is he going to go gas? He's getting 2 more drones. This is the perfect map for GhostUser to do this strategy on.
This is a really nasty strategy. Oh, no, he's going gas. He's going gas. This is exactly the same build, I believe.
Oh, no.
Could be disastrous. This is exactly the same build that was used. It may not be exactly the same. God. No, it's not. It's just a straight 10-pull rush. He's pulling drones.
He's pulling drones, and there's the spine crawler. And Kane sees it. Kane sees the spine at the left. Everything being pulled. I don't know why he would pull everything. I mean, you can just go for the hatch kill. GhostUser, is he going to lose this spore crawler? No, he does manage to get the cancel off. Kane is going to need to control this impeccably. How many drones are back at home? 4. That's enough to support. Ling's coming out 1 at a time.
Man, this is an all-or-nothing build here for GhostUser, but it's a great map to do it on, as you said. This is already... there's the hatch cancel, of course. He knows he won't be able to hold that. And drones are now coming off the line. There are lings in the mix, and he has somehow got to get a fantastic surround in order to actually make this work. Oh, looking at the unit count station right now. He's doing damage, but there's 9 lings on the field. Most of them are in the fight. Kane comes off of that fight in a bad way with only 5 drones remaining. Takes yet more damage. This could just be GG right here.
Wow, you came way overbold with his drones. Needed to hold the top of the ramp. Zerglings for Kane coming out. Queen for Kane coming out. But 5 drones only on the field. Where do you go from here? 3 drones returning back. It might very well be 2 after this engagement. Oh, what a devastating loss for Kane.
Oh, man. And Kane is now super far behind. It's 9 drones to 3. The comeback potential here is ridiculously low. An engagement comes in. GhostUser gets the better arc on it. And this is a game-winning force of lings. Kane has really... He's got his queen coming up here, but, you know, he's got 1 drone. He's about to lose his last drone. There is no question that he is going out of this game at this point.
And there it goes down. That's just going to be a good game. GhostUser, wow! From 0-3 to 2-3... 1 game away from tying it up, you know.
Game paused.
What was the word you said that if GhostUser is not tilted after those first 3 games, then he probably has the best mental fortitude of any pro you've ever seen. Was that it?
It was among those words, yes. Those words can be rearranged to form a popular phrase, and I think that it's pretty damn accurate.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact remains that with that lightning strike taking out power briefly before you got things back online, I think that was what GhostUser needed. He needed that time to be away, to be cool. You know, we had him in the channel. He didn't even have a chance to rewatch the replays. Literally just got the chance to sit and stop thinking about the game and just wait. And man, I actually think that that is a brutal momentum reversal for Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, Kane was just dominating 3 games in a row, looked to be in a dominating position, and then literally reload game, lose, go to game 5, insta-lose, on to game 6. That's very, very difficult.
There's no question about that. However, a couple of things to bear in mind. It's now Kane's map choice, and the entire pool is refreshed. Neoplanet S, obviously a great map to pull that kind of nonsense on. Even if he loses this, he still has another map to play with, and he picks Star Station, a map where he played a dominant game.
Yeah, I mean, that was utter domination in that match. I mean, there's no other word to describe it. The initial rush killed a single drone. The follow-up rush, halfway through, GhostUser just left.
Yeah. Absolutely.
User just left.
Yeah. Absolutely. So this is a good map for Kane to get his game face back on. You know, I think the best situation you could be in as a pro is if you lose to a build like that, you chalk it up to experience, say, it was the map I least wanted to play on, he pulled some funky stuff, and that's that. Yeah, just don't even take it seriously, just go on to the next game and play your plan. Well, let's see if GhostUser's tournament experience will win out here. I am ready to rock and roll.
GhostUser actually had a lot of nerve issues that he had to overcome early in his career. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people, remember those games. I mean, you and I get access to a lot of these, as we end up casting a lot of early round matches.
Yeah.
And it was very often a strong player versus GhostUser. I distinctly remember watching GhostUser versus top Korean Protosses in a winning position and throw the game.
Yes.
Due to nerves. Against top Korean Terrans, winning position, 4 base versus 2 base, having killed the third, throws the game away. And we're seeing GhostUser having reversed his mental state just over the last few months. Really good at saying, okay, I'm down 0-3, time to come back and not choking.
Yeah, certainly. Well, let's see how it goes. To the southeast position in the red trunks, the guy that was looking dominant, but has unfortunately now taken a couple of pretty painful losses. Let's see if he can rally his thoughts. He is
ROOTKane
versus his opponent to the northwest position, who, when he is 1 game away from elimination, pulls 10 pool drone all in on 1 base. The ball's on this man. He is
Millenium
You know, this is a very uncomfortable map to play a game 6 on. You know, I think there's, from a competitor's standpoint, there's a couple of bins that you just dump your opponent into.
Okay.
To try to help you just approach the situation mentally. Like, oh, he plays standard. Or, I am better than he is, so I will play standard. Like, weaker player is actually a general bin. He's very cheesy, or he's very unorthodox. Like, all these things kind of will color the opening that you go for. But on Star Station, the reason I say it's uncomfortable is that all those are virtually irrelevant, whether he's playing standard, unorthodox, aggressive, passive. Lings are so dangerous on this map that you are more worried about covering those angles than you are about what your opponent's even doing.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. We're going to see exactly whether or not Kane can pull off the same kind of flawless aggression that he was able to bring the last time we saw this map in this series. Will Goswser have actually learned his lesson in this respect? Having seen Star Station at the pick, he's got to be expecting the same kind of play.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I think Kane has a solid enough defense that he says, okay, I'm going to do my standard build. Look at this. He lost with this build last game and just says, nope, that's the good one. I'm going to be doing this one.
And it's a good map. Good map for him.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
Neoplanet S wasn't, but again, that kind of thing happens, and you've just kind of got to chalk it up to experience and say, right, well, let's just take another map. Let's just wipe that one clean.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I actually, in sort of seeing some of the chatter around these games, it's very easy to look at Kane's build and to say, oh, that's so greedy, going for the, you know, gas first, but it's actually quite defensively minded at a base level. You get your gas so quickly that you get both speed and your Baneling Nest before your opponent. I mean, if you just look over at Goswser, no matter what cheese that, you know, Goswser could even do in his position, he's going to do it with a later Baneling Nest, so it ends up being quite good defensively.
Let's have a look at the positions. So Goswser has placed his Baneling Nest in his main base, whereas Kane has placed his Baneling Nest at the front. And once again, exactly the same spacing, with the Queen in that very specific position, as you accurately pointed out earlier, and it's a nice position indeed. Little bit of scouting goes on. He sees, alright, there's no Baneling Nest at the front here. There is, however, a Spine Crawler following this up, and another dip-in will certainly reveal that. Speed is going to finish for Kane first, but we are seeing a swell of drones and not a swell of Lings here.
Well, I mean, this is the game that we've amazingly been waiting for this whole series. A game where both players just say, nope, gonna do my own thing. Just gonna sit, just gonna drone.
Nice little run by there.
Always a possibility doing this sort of thing. And he sees a couple of key things. First of all, no layer, but also, very importantly, no gas geysers.
Yep.
So this greatly limits the potential. If you saw one gas geyser down, you'd be like, oh, there are some cheeses that can be going on. If you saw 2 gas geysers down and no layer, you would definitely be expecting a Roach Baneling all in.
Yeah, so since he sees one, and he also notes that speed just completed, he knows what he's doing there. Kane is ridiculously ahead here on his lair. Like, he is going to be seeing that very momentarily. Goswser will try and take a third base.
Very smart play. Ling's rule on this map, even with the Mutalisks out, look at the third base for Goswser. It doesn't even matter what third base you pick. There are going to be about 4 key attack points. The natural will always be an attack point, and then no matter what expansion you take, there's about 3 angles that it opens up. So it's a tough defense. So the Zerglings from Goswser are very smart. Roach Warren from both players. I mean, Roach Warren from Goswser was expected, but not from Kane.
Not on 4 gas. I guess he's just figured, right, well, I can't afford to try and get Spire right now. The aggression's going to be coming in my general direction. I have to wonder what he's going to do with all that spare gas. He's already banked up 500.
Should be Nidus.
Yeah.
Should be a Nidus. There it is!
Yeah! Oh, nice cancel by Kane, actually. That was 2 for 4 trade.
Absolutely excellent. Yep. Very clever play. Well, if you're going to try to be expanding and then trying to get off at my front, I'm just going to go mass Nidus network. Break down your back door. I mean, does he even have... He's only just now getting speed. Uh-oh. Kane would be conspicuously placed. Overlord.
Indeed. It's right there. It is definitely in vision. It is out of vision of Goswser. However, Goswser does have an Overlord over that point.
Yeah,
so
he should be doing it on low ground no matter what. He should not go into the main. That third is the target.
He's going to the main.
I don't like this. This is very, very, very risky.
Ghostsuser's not responding quickly enough, though, I don't think.
Oh my god, does he see it? He's building spores! Oh no!
This is not the right option. He completely misread this situation. The Nidus is going to go up uncontested.
And there it is. Oh no! Kane giving Ghostsuser a taste of his own medicine, the Nidus network in the main base. Does Ghostsuser have any answer at all?
I don't think spore crawlers are the answer. They might be powerful, but not against this. The Nidus worm. Oh no, this is a complete disaster area. Kane is now moving in with banelings as well. He has control of the ramp.
Oh god, the drones are on the run. The banelings!
Oh! Devastating.
An absolute catastrophe in the main base. Even if Ghostsuser can save his main, Kane will always be able to retreat back. Oh my gosh, Kane is looking very close to being the first finalist of ShoutCraft America.
It really, really is. The supply of Ghostsuser falling rapidly right here. Lings come out. Oh, roaches spawn right into a direct, fantastic concave. The Nidus play went completely undetected. Unbelievable, really, when you think about the fact there was an Overlord right there. Was Ghostsuser looking for it on the low ground as you thought it would be? Was this a gigantic mind game here from Kane?
Oh, Kane just absolutely ingenious. Looks like Ghostsuser will be able to barely deflect it.
Yep. The thing is, the Nidus is still there, and there's another wave of roaches coming in. There's more reinforcements streaming in here as well. Kane backs off and is now able to put the aggression on. There's, of course, no mining here. He's looking to take the lair out. He might get it.
Safe, conservative play. I like that.
Yep. More roaches coming in.
Cannot choose his engagements. Ghostsuser just does not have roach speed.
Ooh, lovely concave right there by Kane. That was definitely not where Ghostsuser wanted to be. The roach count, of course, plummeting for Ghostsuser, but he does have that defender's advantage. However, that's almost negated by the fact that the Nidus Worm is there. And looks like Ghostsuser will be able to hold on to this. So this is definitely not game over as of yet. The Nidus will now be cleaned up.
Unbelievable.
Now we have to figure out just how much damage was really done there.
You know, it's a little ambiguous who is officially in the lead and who is officially behind. You know, I would say Kane's greatest advantage in all that is the 1-1 upgrade starting much earlier than his opponents, and that's about it. He can actually put on some direct frontal pressure with the roaches. He doesn't need to stay defensive now because he has roach speed. His opponent does not. And actually, I'm shocked to see Kane not trying to exploit that right now. That's actually very, very surprising. But Ghostsuser has gotten his third base up so early that he actually had drones to be able to lose.
Yes, he lost 24 drones. The units lost shows a massive advantage for Kane. However, you have to bear in mind exactly what you just said there. Will we see another attempted use of the Nidus Worm? Even if he doesn't use it in the main base, even just putting it towards the front would give him would negate that defender's advantage. Really, really nice. Nidus Worm is coming down here. Yeah, it's going over to the side, and it is slightly out of range. Of course, finding this Nidus Worm is going to be nigh on impossible. Ghostsuser's not going to attempt to find it.
Wow, 34 roaches. I mean, Kane followed up this attack with a second all-in. I don't like the timing of this attack. His +1/+1.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't wait for it. Ghostsuser has some roaches. I mean, again, you can just do this push directly at the front. You don't need to spend this gas on the Nidus network.
Yeah, I guess the only way you could really look at it, but we're going to get surround here. That speed is not finished for Ghostsuser, which allowed a brilliant concave here for Kane, which might very well be what it needs to actually break this. It's so strange that it went in without +1/+1, but I guess the reinforcements will have that. The flank comes in from Ghostsuser with a couple of roaches. It is not enough. Kane is able to take that, and reinforcements coming in here as well. The third base is looking to be broken right now, although his spine is doing an incredible job, having killed 6 roaches already in this engagement. This was definitely not as good for Kane as it should have been, and the reinforcements coming from Ghostsuser might hold this.
It's so
+1/+1 is in play.
Oh, there it is. The 1-1 is going to be tremendous, especially when those lings pop out, and it looks like Ghostsuser has yet again done the unthinkable and held it off. You know, I didn't like that timing. I mean, he has not had enough roaches to exploit this 1-1 edge. It's better to wait for the 1-1 there. Ghostsuser, absolutely brilliant choice to get those lings up. He needs some way to abate this pressure, some way to chase these roaches down, and it looks like he will be able to pick off some additional roaches as Kane is trying to get at a good angle around the Nidus network. Oh my god, is Ghostsuser actually going to pull this defense off?
He is. Kane's engaging at the worst possible angles he could. He did not take the roaches into the Nidus and bring them in that way. He brought them from the side, which meant they appeared piecemeal, and as a direct result, Ghostsuser now has a ridiculous economic lead. He's held it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What a blunder. I mean, that first attack was so good, but then you can follow up with the roach speed. You can begin droning behind. The reason having an edge on the speed is so potent is that you can drone behind it. Your opponent has to stay defensive with slow roaches because you can always be on the attack with the speed roaches. But Kane didn't do that. He tried to just flood 34 roaches and go for it. But again, as you said, TotalBiscuit, defender's advantage.
Exactly. It keeps coming in. And if you don't use the Nidus to negate that, if you don't bring your reinforcements via the Nidus and you just bring them in and rally them across the map, that is not good use of a Nidus worm.
Can't say it any better than that. I mean, the Nidus network is just a transport mechanism. It doesn't do any additional damage. You must have the units to back it up. GosWser is in all-out panic mode. He is flooding nothing but roaches, and it looks like this push is going to be big. TV, he's going to have 54 roaches.
Good lord. Kane should not fight here under any circumstances. He needs to get back home. He will lose roaches as a result of these lings, but he does not want to stop. It's better to lose a couple of roaches on the tail end there than allow that roach force to actually fire and give yourself less time to get into a defensive position. Kane should not be taking this fight at all, and GosWser is going right in for it. I don't think Kane has a choice. He has led himself into this.
Oh my god, Kane is going to be kicking himself after this game. GosWser, 42 roaches to 17. It's good
GG.
game. What? Unbelievable! GosWser with the win has tied the series up. It's going to Game 7.
Good God, GosWser. And honestly, good God, Kane. Because that was Kane's game to lose. And he did. Don't get me wrong, GosWser held as best as you could have possibly expected, but there were some key tactical errors that led to that.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one is that he was doing damage in the main base, was doing the smart thing, trying to pick away at some of the buildings, could have maybe shot some additional drones at that expansion, but most significantly, I think that there was a minor error trying to Nidus the main and not the third, and then a more significant one, not harassing and droning after the success. And then it all culminated in the blunder of attacking with 1-1 being 70% complete. Just an absolutely brutal loss. Kane, 100% should be going for his Limuta style.
All right, well, let's see if he falls back on his safety. He does have this one more game, and it's his map choice. GosWser must be feeling good. If he pulls the reverse sweep when he was down 3-0, then we can safely say that this guy's damn good at what he does. So, we will be going into the next game. We're not going to wait right here. GosWser versus Kane goes to Game 7. Bel'Shir Vestige will be the venue for it.
Oh, wow. What a Game 7 map. This is considered one of the map that tests your fundamentals the hardest. I mean, the expansions are not super easy to defend. The attack angles, there's two notable ones, so there's not really a center. The watchtowers change control quite a bit.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
No question about that. I am really interested to see how this goes. I am concerned for Kane's mental state after that game. Like, he must have thought he had that one. Like, being able to Nidus the main and not have it be responded to for like 3 minutes?
Oh yeah, with the spores going up. Wow.
It was a perfect opportunity. And he just did not get to play with it. And that sucks. Alright. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's make this happen. Game 7. Here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bel'Shir Vestige. This will be the venue for our final encounter. It is 3-3 between this guy right here, who started so well, who showed prowess, who made no mistakes in the first 3 games, and yet suddenly, what a role reversal. It is
ROOTKane
versus his opponent, the hardened tournament veteran, the guy whose state of mind and experience may very well win him the day in the blue trunks. It is
Millenium GosWser.
Holy hell, man. Didn't expect it to go this far. I mean, we were at a situation where we thought a 4-0 sweep was very likely.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I was I was just gonna be. I don't know. I'm like shocked.
10.
Okay, listen. To me, I'm
Kane's
freaking blown
Gosu
away.
user is 10 pooling right now.
An excellent decision, Gosu user. An absolutely excellent decision. He started to get a feel for his opponent in the midst of all these matches, and there's the gas going down. Is he going to go for the second extractor trick? I don't think he should. I think he should go for 10 pool speed. It's much more effective on this map.
Oh, second one coming in. Are we going to get the cancellation here? It is.
I'm
All right.
not a fan of this. This is a little dicey. The Overlords, this first Overlord will be able to see the Zerglings coming. So Kane will know how to set up the appropriate defense. It is not as close as Neoplanet S.
Yep.
Zergling speed, fast Zergling speed makes a lot of sense on this map. Look at how wide open the natural expansion is. The watchtower is very important to control. And there's Gosu user. Oh, Kane.
Oh,
Kane actually sees the drone.
Yeah, he held up for a second there thinking, why is there a drone scout this early?
Oh my
But he
God,
went
drones.
hatchery anyway. Oh yeah, there's drones behind this.
Gosu user going drones?
What?
Now, he should be getting a queen right now, and no Zerglings. What?
What is...
What?
I don't know what he's doing right now. He's faking. I mean, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, even faking a 10 pool, this spine is not going to go up. I mean, obviously it wastes a little bit of mining time, but this is really strange.
Now, 10 pool into queen, expand queen is a reasonable build.
All right.
That is quite strong. But the thing is, you're never going to trick Kane here because he has an Overlord floating at your expansion, and he goes,
and he
"Oh,
knows
look,
there's no
expansion
lanes coming."
there." Yeah, I mean, a very botched opening from Ghost User. He's going to be behind on gas. He should get a little bit ahead. And no, he didn't get the queen right off the bat. Yeah, I mean, if you get the queen right off the bat, you're actually surging forward with drones. But
Yeah. Not in this
a
case.
blunderous blunder. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really odd. A couple of links coming in here are not really going to be a huge amount of a threat. There's no question that Kane will be able to clean that up. That was very, very strange. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to try and mind game your opponent in a Zerg versus Zerg like that when the Overlords very clearly see inside your opponent's head. You know that this isn't happening.
Wow, this is just a very sort of baffling situation to be in as a Gosu user. I mean, we've talked a little bit about the sort of what could have been, but now in terms of the going forward, what do I think the best response is? Ooh, Kane, not trusting himself as much, getting up the emergency spine crawler a little bit too preemptively. Gosu user, I think, is going to be able to stay fairly defensive throughout this.
Yeah. And Ghost User just slightly behind in drones. Not really a big deal. The second queen is now up for Ghost User. Obviously a little bit slower there. And we did get, of course, the hatch lead there for Kane. So that will certainly help him. Ghost User does have a Baneling Nest on the way. Scouting information may not have seen that Baneling Nest, actually. Let's just double check that. No, he didn't see the Baneling Nest. I mean, he can obviously logically expect it. But even then, you know, it would be nice to confirm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at this point in time, you almost just have to assume your opponent is not going roaches. If you're Ghost User, that is. Kane certainly has to sort of anticipate this. Nice cancel on his spine crawler at the front.
Yeah.
Thought it was a little bit more preemptive than need be, and it looks like Kane decided to agree with himself.
Always a good person to agree with, I tend to find. Otherwise, you don't get much done that day.
Crap, sorry, my mic cut out. Sorry, I lulled. But as you can hear, my neighbor has decided to start banging on drums, so all of a sudden it's going to get really loud.
Oh, this tournament. We're seeing a large link surge right here from Kane. Defensive banelings coming into place right here from Gosu User. Gosu User also put himself in a supply block situation for a little bit too long, whereas Kane was well ahead of him, and is now being able to get that surge, and that could make a difference here.
I mean,
Alright, let's see how it goes.
Quite significant, yeah. I mean, with the RO4 coming up from Gosu User, he's feeling the need to be defensive, but behind this, Kane is just going to be throwing down a layer. I mean, this looks like an all-in from Kane, but it is an opportunity to drone behind. This is to exploit a player who's been low on larva. He knows the hatch was delayed, and because the queen was delayed, there's almost no chance that there's going to be enough larva there. Oh my god.
He ate one hit. Oh, a second hit goes off. A lot of the banelings don't get there. One more hit. He hits the drones. That was not as good as it could have been, but he does destroy the natural pretty effectively.
Oh, I mean, a brilliant response from Kane. Kane acknowledging, wow, you're low on larva. There's no way you can get both drones and lings up to be able to hold this off, so I'm going to use my larva advantage to overrun your front. And it looks like Kane has decided, I've won this game. He's going Spine Crawler. He's going Roach Warren. He is just going to play it off conservatively. He is not going to go for layer. He was a little bit too bold in the previous games. He is going to the exact opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah. Kane is in a great spot right now. He has a very clear drone lead over his opponent. His tech is looking good as well. Ghostwser is not happy after that one. Very unhappy indeed. More links coming in. We'll actually get this around on the roaches here as well, which is a horrible situation to be in. Ghostwser definitely not happy with himself. He may very well decide to give up at this stage. He's now lost all of the roaches as they get surrounded. And he's GGing. So tragic.
And for Ghostwser, who pulled the miracle comeback to tie it up. Oh, it's such a heartbreaking end because, I mean, his drone went the wrong way, and then he decided, well, maybe I should drone behind this 10 pool. Maybe I should. Oh no, let me try to fake it. I mean, you could see the meltdown happen right there.
That was. I feel so bad for Ghostwser after that. I really do. Don't get me wrong, Kane played a great series, even though he kind of fell apart in the middle of it. Ghostwser pulled such a comeback, an incredible comeback. That was heartbreaking. It was, and you could tell just even in his play. You know, you could tell that he was losing heart. Oh man. Well, such is the way of tournaments. Someone must lose, someone must win, otherwise we wouldn't have much of a competition. And Kane gets a chance to prove himself in New York for the grand finals.
Wow, that is a real treat to see Kane there. I mean, Kane was talking a little bit about how he got fortunate in his game against QXC. He got fortunate in his last game here against Ghostwser, but that phrase only goes so far. Kane is there because he has been able to take down top player after top player of all races in incredibly difficult situations by thinking really flexibly.
Yeah, he really, really did. He put on an exceptional performance. Ghostwser, he's the kind of player that's going to beat himself up over this hard because he has more often than not said, expressed the idea that he is really top shape in terms of the American scene. And most people would agree with him on that one. They would say, yeah, you are one of the best American Zerg, if not arguably the best, at least in America. As if you don't count the Canadians, then yeah, there would be plenty people that would accept that assertion. And unfortunately, he has been taken out by a relative newcomer, and he got so close. So close.
Wow. I mean, Ghostwser, God, my heart bleeds for him so much. I mean,
it does.
I feel like even all the Kane fans out there, their heart bleeds for Ghostwser in that final match. Ghostwser showed sensational Game 4, brilliant build in Game 5, an unbelievable defense in Game 6, and just tripped up in Game 7.
Yeah. That was so strange as well, because that 10 pull would have actually worked. There were like 2, maybe even 3 different ways that he could have turned that 10 pull into something that would have genuinely put him ahead, and then he picked the one way that just didn't. It made no sense. I mean, that was not a build, that was a mistake. And Ghostwser knows it. He says to the audience he's so stupid. And, I don't agree that he's stupid at all. It's the kind of thing that everybody makes mistakes. Especially in a knife-edge match. It comes down to the very last map. You know your opponent's been picking maps left, right, and center. You know your opponent's strong on this map. He just doesn't quite have it.
I mean, doesn't quite have it, just like my neighbor doesn't quite have a sense of rhythm.
No, or a sense of pitch. I mean, I've never heard a drum be out of tune before, but he has succeeded.
I know, that is a very, very harsh-sounding drum. What a dissonant drum. Ugh, gross.
Like that drum should be a war crime, Sean.
Well, apparently it's actually a war chant because we have a PvP coming up. Did you see that segue? It happened live.
Nah, that wasn't even planned or anything. Some people believe that. So Apollo, as we know, has a book full of builds. Now, I've heard that you have a book full of segues. Is that true?
That is true. Yes, it's actually a parchment. So that way I can roll it so I see exactly one line and I roll it a little bit more. What I'm thinking of doing is chopping it up and throwing them in fortune cookies, and then that way, anytime it's time for a commercial break, you just open one up, and you say it, and then you just eat.
What a great idea. Well, Kane is your first finalist. You know, I felt obviously that we did very much focus on the idea that, you know, Goswser kind of losing that last game, but we shouldn't really ignore the fact that Kane did play some exceptional games, got a great engagement, had some great decision making. The middle of the series got a bit funky for him, but that last game, you accurately pointed out that he identified that his opponent had less lava potential, and we even saw, as the observers, the supply block come into effect for Goswser, and that was an exceptional performance from Kane. Now he gets to prove whether or not he is, in fact, the best in America, because he will be facing off against the winner of State and Minigun. It could be our all-route final, but State is not going to let that happen easily. He's put on a great performance so far. Minigun's looked a lot shakier. It's PvP. Anything could happen. We'll find out after this break as we go into the pre-game face-off interview. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching ShoutCraft America, the semi-finals cast by myself and Day9. We will be right back.